Welcome to Unmute Yourself. I'm your host, Jennifer Carter, and I am so glad you're here. This podcast is about lifting the curtain on leadership, purpose, and the real stories behind people who dared to do things differently. We'll talk about how they found their path, the struggles they faced, and how they built something that truly matters. These are everyday people doing extraordinary things, and I want you to know that you are capable of that too. So, for today's conversation, I have a very special guest, and I am thrilled to welcome Paulina Tillman. Hello, Paulina.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Now, Paulina is the founder of Mindset Mastery Tribe, which myself am a very proud member. And she actually grew up in a Soviet country. And the motto was success is not an option, right? So after immigrating at age 6, she spent, I think like a lot of us here, 20 years following the rules. We know these rules, right? College, corporate ladder, paycheck security, and then a layoff turned her whole world upside down. So what looked like tragedy became freedom. And this total baddie launched her own consultancy in ad tech, matched her old salary, and within 3 years had her first, I can't even believe this, her first 6-figure month. Wow, amazing. I know. So along the way, she discovered that the real shift wasn't just business strategy, it was mindset. And today, she helps ex-corporate entrepreneurs replace their income in under a year, build plans that don't burn them out, and feel finally free. So
Yeah,
Paulina, thank you so much for joining me today.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I mean, you have such a storied career, and I love, even immigrating to the United States and having your whole corporate life, and now just totally killing it in the entrepreneurial world. What inspired you to get into mindset work?
Oh my gosh, how did I start? I'm trying to think. So, okay, actually, funny story. I never thought about this until you asked me this question. The first sort of mindset book I read was
Hmm.
Amanda Frances. Are you familiar with Amanda Frances?
I don't think so.
Super like pop culture, very, I hope you're not listening and you're not offended, Amanda, but like super pop culture, like girly psychology, whatever. She has a book called Rich as Fuck.
Oh, I feel like I know this, and I feel like I love it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
she's a, I forget what she calls herself, like a money chick or whatever. She helps women make lots of money, and she wrote this book about just how to think about being rich. And it was super cheesy in pop culture. I'm like, oh, whatever. The title's cool, and she's all in pink with her like money bags, right? I'll read.
Yeah.
And there was like, you're gonna laugh at me. There was like this one part that I'll never forget to this day. She's like, "Girl, throw your way." Am I allowed to curse on this podcast?
Paulina, you can do whatever you want.
Okay, she's like, "Throw away your old fucking disgusting dirty panties and go to Victoria's Secret and get yourself some new underwear." And I'm like, "I'm allowed to do that? I don't have to save money on underwear?" And I was
Yeah,
like,
because they're still good. Why would you throw them out?
right.
Right.
Well,
Right.
they're kinda good. They're, like, fraying a little, and maybe they have a little stain, but, like, I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to go get, like, a shirt that's not on sale or underwear that's, like, brand new and not on sale, and so I did it, and I was like, "Wait, I didn't die.
You didn't die.
I didn't die.
You
I didn't
didn't die.
Nothing happened." And then I started reading and learning, and, there's the whole story about how the pandemic happened. I had a corporate job, and I just started watching a bunch of YouTube videos and built on that with Ryan Daniel Moran and capitalism.com,
Hmm.
and that built on it, right? And I learned more, and I was like, any average person can have a business and be successful. It's not like for those people that aren't me. Oh, okay. And just like these little things that I learned, and finally I understood. Like back then, I thought that you have to know how to grow a business, and mindset was just whatever. That's for when you have time, like fluff,
Mhm.
right? And then by the time that I was halfway into my first business, I was like, okay, this is like at least 50% of it. 6 months later, I was like, I think this is 75% of it. Where I am now, I'm like, it's literally 99.5%
Wow.
of it, if not 100. Like, the little thing I flash up here in all of our
Mhm.
calls, that everything starts with who you're being, right? So it starts with who you're being. Who you're being determines your thoughts. Your thoughts create emotions. Emotions drive actions, and actions create results. What most people do that start businesses are like, let me start on the action part. And if you start on the action part and it's coming from anxiety and franticness and like, oh fuck, it's never gonna work.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what to do. I need to do something. I need to take action. And especially coming from a corporate life where you're used to having everything scheduled out, all of your goals, key performance indicators, all of the meetings, you know what's dictated towards you, right? So it's people, I think, generally live in action. And
Yeah.
two, like, no, we've talked about this, right? The biggest fear is what? Living in a box on the street. We don't want to live on a box on the street. So I love your story because, coming from a Soviet country and then realizing you can buy and deserve new underwear, as small as it sounds. How do you take your foundation of how you grew up and what you learned and see it as a foundation for change instead of a limitation?
Well, it's okay. So the universe is your mirror, right? So everything that you believe is what you see. So back then, so the point of that is that there's a bunch of different viewpoints, right? So there's a bunch of things called universal laws, and this plays very well to the law of polarity, right?
Mm,
People that are not aware and haven't done any work or anything like that, they live on one side of the right. So they're like, okay, money is scarce, but everything has two sides of the pole. There's money is scarce and money is abundant. And the key is to live in the middle, right? And to see both sides. But when you live in a communist country, the whole point of communism is to only have you see one side of the pole. There's like freaking two TV stations, everyone's the same color. Like you don't know that anything
wow.
else exists except what you've seen. And then your parents bring you to America and you're like, oh, there's other races and colors in the world. And there's people that spend lots of money and people that don't spend lots of money. And there's like all this like variety, right? So I don't know. I've always been like a curious person. I don't just take things at face value. Like I want to
Mhm.
know. So when someone tells me go buy new panties, I'm like, I'm not like dumb bitch. I'm like, right? Or if someone tells
Yeah.
me I can start a business, I'm like, I can. And I'm always like, right? So that helps me see all the viewpoints, right? So the answer to your question is like, now I see that that's a very limited view of the world. And there's
Mhm.
so many viewpoints along the polarity, and I want to see all of them.
It sounds like that intense curiosity, willingness to take risk, willingness to challenge your current beliefs, just try a bunch of stuff.
Willingness to take risk is an acquired skill, let me tell you.
Mm. Well, let's talk about that. So, you started Mindset Mastery Tribe, and so how did the vision for that exactly come to life, and what does it represent for you personally?
Yeah, really naturally. So my let's see, second business that I started was a consulting company, which was my first successful business. And I had been doing so much mindset work, like reading all the books, spending tens of thousands of dollars on programs, and it was working and the business was growing. And I was like, wow. Like I was part, so my mentor was David Nagel. I was in his program. You had to be on at 9 a.m. every single day, no days off, no holidays, nothing, not even Christmas.
Even like weekends and all of it.
Yeah. So
Yeah, because it's
it's very
serious.
yeah, it was serious. And so I was like really changing fast, right? And so remember the whole thing about being thoughts, emotions, actions, results. The
Mhm.
results were coming fast. And money is a result. It's an effect, not a cause, right? So I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then I was like, well, I had some, contractors and partners in the business. So I was like, why don't I have them listen to the stuff and we'll have like a little discussion group and the company will grow faster. And so then, like, my little, like, $10 an hour VA started her own business and started
Oh
thriving.
my god.
Everyone started thriving. And I was like, wow, this shit works for everybody, not just me, which I should have known because I was in this program that was valued at tens of thousands of dollars. And so I was like, I think I was on a call one day and one of the girls, this was like completely free at the time. It wasn't Mindset Mastery Tribe. It was
Mhm.
just a little thing that we do. One of the girls is like, why are you not like doing this a thing and making this a thing and offering it to everybody? And I'm like, that's the best idea I've ever heard. And the rest is history.
So, I do wonder too, so when you decided to go through and offer it as a paid membership, right, or an offering,
Mhm.
what were some of the mental and emotional hurdles that you went through to take that leap to doing it, right? Saying, "Oh my gosh, this stuff actually works for everybody." So how did you push through?
To be honest, I didn't have a lot for that one because it was my side hustle, right? It's still kind of my side hustle. That's not the end goal, but I'm being smart about it and transition
Yeah.
this, right? So there wasn't like, oh my God, am I going to succeed? Because I had learned enough to know that if when the desire is strong enough, the manifestation always happens 100% of the time. But I've had deep-seated stuff with money all my life because not only am I from communist Russia, but my dad is the cheapest fucking person on the face. Literally, like people that came from my exact year, exact everything, like their parents are not as cheap. Like my dad is, like upper middle class. If you put all his real estate together, he's probably worth several million, but
Mhm.
I'll come to his house and I mean, this was like a year ago now, he's got a girlfriend that kinda spiffied him up, but, like, I'll open the little mini fridge that he has, and there'll be, like, chicken in there from Costco, and I'm like, "How old is this?" And he's like, 3 weeks," and I'm like,
Fine, Paulina, it's fine. No. Right.
"Why do you still have this? There's nothing wrong with it. Why would I throw it away? Why would I waste it?"
It's that lack and not knowing when you're gonna get it again.
Yes, but that's not conscious, that's very deep-seated and subconscious. Interestingly enough, I did this, like, past life transgression or whatever, and
That sounds
a
fun.
woman
Yeah.
went into my past lives, and she was like, "Every single life that you've had, you've been extremely poor, and one of your lives you even died from being really poor, so this is like, we gotta clean you out, girl, like, clean your Akashic record,"
Yeah.
whatever. So she cleaned me out, didn't help, and I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Oh, that's just bad habits. Go fix your bad habits." Anyways, so to answer your question, when I first started Mindset Mastery, it was obviously I had some free people and then it started out like very cheap for what I was doing. And it was like that, like raising the price, raising the
Mm,
now I look at the other programs and like you see how much we do, right?
right.
Like we do way more for like way less than a lot of others. So I should probably be charging more, but you can't charge more until like you fix your money issues, right?
Mm,
So you have to like if X amount of money is a big deal for you, you're gonna have a hard time charging that price, right? So I know what I'm supposed to think and I know what I'm supposed to believe, but truly believing that, I can't say that I'm 100% of the way there. I'm probably
mhm.
73, but definitely not 100.
Yeah. And this, as you're talking, I'm thinking about people that I know and even myself in the past who they really want to raise in their corporate job, right? And they're like, I need a raise, but then they never ask for the raise because they don't think that they're worth it.
Mm,
And even saying the words, I want a raise or I want 20,000 more dollars or whatever it is feels absurd to them. So, of course, they can't ask for it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. You have to
Yeah.
fix your money story before you make more money and your money beliefs.
How do you have somebody start that, like, to heal their money story?
Well, so the unfortunate I don't have a fun answer for you. I have a really boring answer. So there's two ways to take in information. You can like intellectually take in the information, like you tell me something and then I receive it and then it makes me happy or sad and then I walk away, I go back to homeostasis. But if you want to actually change, you have to be reprogrammed. And that's the reason that my group meets every single day, not like once a week or twice a week like these other groups because there's only two ways to reprogram yourself. The first one is have like a crazy, like life-changing event, car accident, someone dies, whatever. No one wants that. The other one is time space repetition.
Mhm.
So, t I mean, this is gonna whittle down to the fact that you have to do a program like Mindset Mastery Tribe, and I'm really not trying to promote my own program, but the thing is, if you don't when you pay for something, it's an energetic commitment with money, right? So, if you're like, "I'm gonna listen to these free YouTubes every day." No, you're not, because you didn't pay for it.
Right, and I think too, there's nothing like you said, it's an energetic commitment, so there's nothing holding you to it. Like, it has to be enough that holds your feet to the fire and you feel guilty not doing it. Like, I'm
Totally.
a runner, and so I always have a race that I'm signed up for, and I book the hotel and all of that because if I don't train, then all that money is out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so every day when I wake up, I'm being an athlete, Paulina.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
David Nagel, he was my mentor. I spent I don't know, like tens of thousands of dollars. The last program I did with them was $15,000 and it was like a 15-minute call every morning. We had some workshops here and there. It was a 15-minute call. You bet your fucking ass I was on that call. every 15.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're showing up.
I showed up and that's how I changed, right?
Wow.
Like if I didn't pay that money, I probably wouldn't have showed up every day and I wouldn't have changed.
Paulina, for the people that are listening and they're thinking about a career change, going into entrepreneurship, whatever that might be, what is something that you wished you would have done differently when you decided to make the change, if anything?
I would have done intense work on myself right away. The faster you work on yourself and not just do the actions and tactics. And, working on yourself can include actions and tactics, but it's kind of like it's Google Maps without a destination if you don't have guidance, right? It's faster to put in an endpoint and have guidance on how to get there with a Google Map than just figure it out, right?
Right.
Guidance, like training, intense training faster.
Yeah. We're just a bunch of brains out here bopping around in bodies trying to do the best we can. And we don't have a GPS. And
Yeah,
so it's a lot, right. It's
everyone
tricky.
everyone thinks when they first start out, this is like I see it every time with especially ex-corporate business owners. I don't need mindset. I'm just gonna start this business. I know what to do. Okay. And then the minute that you're like, wait, the clients aren't coming, it's because people just don't need this right now. It's not that the people don't need this. People need stuff. It's that you know, you're not
Yeah.
selling them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that uncertainty that creeps in and the heaviness. And so how do you personally stay the course when things aren't quite going perfectly or not going as you expected?
Yeah. So I do mindset work every day. And so there's so many teachings that account for that, right? So there's the law of rhythm. Everything goes in waves. The stock market, your sleep wake cycle, right? The female cycle. So does your money.
Mhm.
So does your success. So when you're in a down, there's an up coming. When you're in an up, there's a down coming. The only way that you can prevent the up from coming when you're in a down is to like a terrible mindset.
Oh my gosh, Paulina, my job is never going to get better. I'm always going to be broke. I hear that all the time. Like, I see people that say, I have no hope left.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then it's just one crappy situation after another.
You're your own worst enemy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I have some quick fire questions for you.
'Kay, I'm ready.
Okay. Are you okay? Yeah. I think you're okay. What's one lesson you've learned that you wish everyone knew?
You always have enough.
Oh, tell us more.
So remember the thing we talked about, dips?
Mm-hmm.
I see I have a friend and I don't think she's gonna mind me saying this about her because I say it to her all the time. She lives in my building, except in a way better condo. And it's got a balcony and it overlooks I live in New York City, it overlooks the New York skyline. And we sit on that balcony and we overlook Central Park and the New York skyline. Um, and she tells me about how broke and poor she is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I've actually had times where I was making a lot of money that I felt really broke, and I was making little money and I felt pretty good about like right now, like I feel good no
Yeah.
matter what, right? If you say I don't have enough, it's like compared to who? Oh, I can't pay my mortgage. Okay, well, live somewhere else. It's still better than until you get better, right? It's still better than a bunch of people, right? Or I have too much credit card debt. Okay, well, deal with that and then start over. But there's always someone worse off than you and there's always someone better off than you, right?
Yeah.
But the first step is feeling like the person like that you want to be, and that's how you become it. But if you're up here staring at the New York skyline feeling poor, your results are
Are
going to
gonna be down. It's oh my gosh, I was listening to that book you recommended to me. X is easier than 2X? The gap. People living in the gap, right? Always wanting to get the next level up and missing the beauty of where they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it sounds really, like, cheesy, but it's true. Just practicing abundance. There's a variety of ways to do that, and something different resonates with everybody, but you have to really work every single day on being the abundant person that you are.
Mm. Okay, another quick fire question. If you could go back and tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
I think it's like your parents don't know everything. I had a path, right? If
Yeah.
and this is like my parents were wonderful, like, they just didn't know any better because of where they came from, but I had a path. I had to go to school, go to engineering school. I don't know how to engineer.
Yeah, we don't wanna do that. We don't wanna do that.
I had to go to school, be an engineer, and then be an engineer for my job and then climb the corporate ladder. And like I really thought that that was the only thing that I could do. Like my parents drilled it into my head that if you're not like sales is not a job. Like nothing's a real job except being an engineer because you're actually building the shit, right?
The tangible. Get it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, very logical, very tangible. If I had, like, the way I raise my daughter is, like, very follow your desire. Your desire is the guidepost to what you're supposed to be. Everyone has a purpose that they're born with, right? And the way that you know that is with your desire. So I never followed my desire, I followed what my parents told me. So the answer to your question is, like, I shouldn't have been such a good girl.
But you wanted to do what you thought was right because you didn't know either.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what's the boldest choice you've made that's paid off?
The boldest choice I've made that's I mean, investing all those tens of thousands of dollars in personal development.
Yeah, because here you are.
Exactly.
Yeah. So last fast question, what's the next big dream you're chasing?
Oh my gosh, that's easy. I wanna make Mindset Mastery Tribe the best personal development company in the world, millions of dollars a year. I wanna grow this thing. Like, I want everybody to have what you have. Like, you're growing like a mofo.
It's so fun.
It's
It's
so
so
fun.
much fun.
Like, you joined just a couple months ago, and all of a sudden you're closing $10,000 like, the shit works. You're closing
It works.
$10,000 deals,
It works.
and I want everybody to succeed and have that, right?
I see it happening, right? Because you have the balls to dream big and to
Totally.
see it.
Because why not? I'm not
Because
gonna
why not? Right,
well,
here we go.
it's like, people ask themselves, "What's the purpose of life?" Right? You could kinda say like, "Oh, well, it's to have kids and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's cool. I love my kid." Right? The purpose of life is you were pre-born with a purpose, right? Most people don't carry that purpose out. But the purpose of life is to fulfill that purpose and use that purpose to give back to the world. And I really feel like I'm doing that with Mindset Mastery Tribe.
It's a beautiful thing. So inspiring. And this has been such a powerful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Now, before we wrap, I do have two final questions.
Yeah.
Okay. If listeners walk away remembering just one thing from this conversation, what do you hope it is?
I mean, I think for people that aren't really in the like have never done any kind of program or coaching or personal development, do it. You're not going to be able to do it alone, right? Get into something. I mean, obviously, I like Mindset Mastery Tribe, but I don't care what you get into. Get into coaching that resonates with you,
Yeah. Just
right?
do something.
Do something that's not just I'm going to tinker and try this business. Like especially if you've been in corporate for a long time, it's not going to work. So all these things and thoughts, I didn't make them up. I didn't only learn them, but I've embodied them by doing it over and over again for years.
You are being
Being.
a baddie. Yeah. So on a more personal note, what has it meant for you to share your story here on Unmute Yourself today?
I mean, gotta say I'm proud of myself, right?
Yeah.
So look how far the little Russian girls come, right?
No
So
rocks on the street, man, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, thank you so much. And finally, how can listeners connect with you and support your work or connect or work with you?
Yeah. So is this when is this coming out? Because then I'm having a
Should be next week.
next week. Okay, perfect. So one of the things we teach a lot on is the psychology of sales and how to connect with your audience. So I'm having um a very psychological advanced sales training masterclass on the 16th at 12 Eastern. So I guess you can throw the link for it for registration in the show notes.
I got you. Yep.
So a good way to kind of get familiar with my work is come to that. We're going to have some like Q&A and some live coaching, and then there'll be an opportunity to connect with me one-on-one after that and just talk and see if it makes sense to go further.
And I went to Paulina's sales training and I'm going to go again just because it's not what I was trained in, right? And so I think everybody can learn something. It's good practice, so many good nuggets. So I do highly recommend that. So thank you again, Paulina, for joining me. And thank you to everyone listening for showing up, reflecting, and unmuting yourself in your own way. So, if today's conversation inspired you, please share this episode, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories of leaders creating work that truly fits and matters. And if you'd like to support the podcast, consider making a monthly donation on Buzzsprout. It helps us keep bringing you these stories and voices that matter. Until next time, unmute yourself and step into the story only you can tell.